Hello everyone, and welcome back to Research Graduate. Today the topic is, how to write a methodology. We would be providing you with a step-by-step guide on how you can write a methodology for your research on your own in 4 steps. So, without any further delay, let us head straight to the topic. You will have to talk about the ways you did your research in your thesis or dissertation. The methodology chapter tells the reader what you did and how you did it, so they can judge the research's reliability and validity. It needs to have, what kind of study you did, how you get your information, how you analyze your data, any research tools or materials you used, the reason why you chose these methods. Most of the time, the method section should be written in the past tense. Academic style guides in your field may also have detailed instructions on what to include for different kinds of studies. For example, writing an APA method section requires following certain rules. Step 1. Explain how you will do your research. Start by explaining how you plan to do the research as a whole. What problem or question did you look into in your research? For example, did you want to describe something in a systematic way, look into a topic that hasn't been studied much, or show a cause and effect link? And what kind of information did you need to get there? Do you need data that is expressed in numbers or data that is expressed in words? Did you have to collect the first-hand data yourself, or did you use data that someone else had already gathered? Did you collect experimental data by controlling and changing variables, or did you collect descriptive data by observing without changing anything? Depending on your field and approach, you might also start with a discussion of the reasoning behind your method and the assumptions it is based on. Why is this the best way to answer the questions you asked in your research? Is this a common way to do things in your field, or do you need to explain why? Were there any moral factors that went into your decisions? How do you decide if this kind of research is valid and reliable? Step 2. Describe how you will get your data. Once you've explained your overall methodological approach, you should explain how you got the data you used. Quantitative method. In quantitative research, you should describe your methods in enough detail so that another researcher could repeat your study and get the same results. Explain how you operationalized concepts and measured your variables, your sampling method or inclusion/exclusion criteria, and any tools, procedures, and materials you use to collect data. Surveys. Tell where, when, and how the poll was taken. How did you make the questionnaire, and what kind of questions did it have, multiple choice, Likert scale, etc. How did you choose the people who would take part? Did you do surveys over the phone, by mail, online, or in person? How long did people have to answer? How big was the sample and what was the rate of responses? You might want to add the full questionnaire as an appendix so that your reader can see exactly what information was gathered. Experiments tell everything about the tools, methods, and steps you used to do the experiment. How did you set up the test? How did you recruit participants? How did you change the variables and measure them? How did you do the experiment? What tools or technologies did you use? In experimental research, it is especially important to give enough details so that another researcher can repeat your results. Existing data. Explain how you found and chose the information, like articles or archival data, that you used in your analysis. Where did you get the information? How did the data get made in the first place? How did you choose what to use? Example range of dates. Qualitative method. Since methods in qualitative research are often more flexible and subjective, it's important to think about your approach and explain the choices you made. Talk about the criteria you used to choose participants or sources, the setting of the research, and your role in gathering the data. For example, were you an active participant or a passive observer? Interviews or group discussions. Give details about where, when, and how the interviews took place. How did you find and choose people to join? How many people were involved? How were the interviews set up? Were they structured, semi-structured, or not set up at all? How long did the interviews last, and how did you record them? Taking part in the observation. Tell us where you did the observation or ethnography, when you did it, and how you did it. What kind of group or community did you study, and how did you get to know them? How long did it take you to do the research? Where did you do it? What part did you play in your neighborhood? How did you keep track of your data, example video recordings, written notes? Existing data. Explain how you chose the case study materials, like texts or pictures, that your analysis will be based on. What kinds of things did you look at? How did you find and choose them? Step 3, explain how you did your analysis. Next, you should explain how you worked with and looked at the data. Don't go into too much detail, and don't start talking about or presenting your results yet. Methods based on numbers. Quantitative method. In quantitative research, you will look at numbers to figure out what you think. You could put the following in the methods section: how you got the data ready to be analyzed, e.g. checking for missing data, removing outliers, transforming variables. What program did you use to look at the data? E.g. SPSS, Stata, or R. What kind of statistical tests did you do? E.g. two-tailed t-test, simple linear regression. Methods based on quality. Qualitative method. In qualitative research, you will base your analysis on language, pictures, and what you see, often involving some form of textual analysis. Some specific ways could be: content analysis is putting words, phrases, and sentences into groups and talking about what they mean. Thematic analysis is when you use codes and look closely at the data to find big themes and patterns. Discourse analysis is the study of how people talk and what they mean in relation to their social surroundings. Step 4, look at your methods and explain why you chose them. Your methodology should explain why you chose the methods you did, especially if you didn't go about your topic in the most common way. Talk about why other methods didn't work for your goals and how this approach helps you learn or understand something new. You can say that the approach you chose has some flaws or weaknesses, but explain why the strengths outweigh these. Hope you find this step-by-step guide of 4 steps insightful and knowledgeable to write your methodology for research. Anytime you feel like you are not able to do the designing on your own, call us right away and we will do that for you. Stay tuned to Research Graduate to get more such videos. Till then, happy research. Also, if you have any of the PhD and Master's related service requirements, visit our website www.researchgraduate.com. Check out the description for more contact details.